In a world where resonance frequencies scream and plugins just cost way too much money, there is one spectral suppressor that rises above the rest. And it's called Anina. It's this fun little resonance suppression tool that I've been using addictively because I've found it's basically Soothe, but it works in a much more intuitive way and costs you way less money. So much less that it costs you $0. Although, obviously, if you so desire, you can donate to the wonderful human beings over at CRQL. Shout out to Ewan Bristow. We love you. Praise be. But no, thank you so much, Ewan, for introducing such a wonderful tool at such an affordable price. Today we're going to be going over Anina, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I use it to nuke my resonances in the most tasty way imaginable. And of course, I'm going to show you guys some of the fun little things that make this plugin a little bit more intuitive than Soothe, and why I think Soothe or Oeksound is probably looking at their bank statements and being a little bit concerned, just because I can't imagine why people would want to buy Soothe when this exists. So yeah, let's get right into this video. Okay, so today I'm just going to be going over the resonance suppression of Anina, but I will be making more videos in the future on how we can do more crazy, cool, spectral, color-based things, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I just wanted to focus on the mix-oriented angle, and more importantly, the reason why this is, in my opinion, better than Soothe. So first, let me just show you how I use it. So the big thing that I do is I will basically try to make this delta as painful as possible. The idea is the delta is telling you what's getting removed. So if we can make that as painful as possible, it's going to remove the painful stuff, which is arguably the goal here. So what I like to do is I'll turn the delta on and I'll switch over here into this, filter mode where we can go into like the sidechain filtering options. And basically, what I want to do is I want to use this high and low pass filter to find the painful stuff and kind of not nuke the good stuff. So I'm just going to try and zero in on some of these upper frequencies that I've got with my little R2D2 sound here. And we're just going to try and find mainly where those really, really egregious pokey bits are, and we're just going to focus in on those. So let's just go ahead and find that. And we can also use the gate to try and focus in on just the upper transient-y parts instead of like nuking the more sustained bits. Oh, that is just horrendous. But that's what we want. So now that we've got it dialed in, we can come back here. Now if we A-B, you can hear how it's taking those really, really pokey high-frequency things that we found in the delta, and it's reducing them. And we can even do something like adjust the output gain. We can look up here and see it's probably going to turn it down a little bit. So we can kind of boost that back up, just to make up for the gain that we're reducing by, spectrally cutting out those resonances. Awesome. And of course, like I always find that around 10 to 20% is usually the best sweet spot for this. But of course, experiment, have fun. The more you go up towards these 40 and 50 and on percentages, you do end up getting a lot of spectrally nuking, like a little bit too much nuking, I would say, depending on the situation. But in the context of a mix, I have found that 10 to 20% is such a nice little sweet spot where you can basically just get this gentle, natural reduction in those resonances. And the cool thing is you can actually duplicate these and stack them up. So I have a couple that I had set up a little bit ahead of time here. I'll just turn these on. I'm just using two different Aninas with similar but different settings, mainly inside of the cutoff areas here. And I'm just nuking these frequencies before this fat rack that I have, because if I A-B this, you can see how much more gentle it is. And of course, I'm being a little bit aggressive here. But you can hear how after, so if we do this before the fat rack or before any kind of OTT or compression, what ends up happening is when we do that compression, you're not boosting all those painful frequencies as much, and it ends up feeling a lot smoother, even though you're kind of adding a lot of energy to the sound. So it ends up being a very energetic sound without feeling as harsh. And what's even cooler than that is that we can even do more Anina processing after the fat rack, and again, do even more gentle, natural sculpting of these resonances so that we're, again, reducing some of the painfulness that may come from that compression that we're doing. And the idea here is it's being gently done, as gently as possible. Of course, I can open these up so you can see these too. We're trying to do as gently as possible so that we can really feel the resonance suppression, but not so much that it kind of ruins the naturalness of the sound, right? So it's one of these things where I have found that the real flex of Anina is that you can use lots of these. Like I will often be able to, you know, have like 20 or 30 of these in a project. And the best part is you can really address the resonances on individual track by track bases. Whereas in Soothe, the problem with Soothe is that it is so CPU intensive that, you know, it's hard to have more than one of them in a project. If you have, you know, 3 or 4, it starts to just get outrageous. So you don't have this ability to do pre and post processing as easily without doing things like flattening or bouncing to audio or things like that. So that, in my opinion, is one of the hardest flexes you could freaking possibly imagine, on top of the fact that it's free, mind you. And I've just found that Anina has this ability to give you a little bit more control and with less CPU power usage. So it's just a very, very fun thing to have in your arsenal, especially if you're trying to deal with painful things in a natural way. Now, shout out to Ewan again, because the cool part about Anina is you can also do lots of other things, and I will be making more videos in the future on how we can use sidechain and other things to create more spectral and creative effects. But in this video, I really just wanted to focus on the resonance suppression and the reason why, in my opinion, it is far superior to Soothe when it comes to the effectiveness and the CPU capabilities, on top of the fact that, again, the price tag is far more pleasant on the wallet. My wallet is like, you know, foaming at the mouth when you see something like this. Versus Soothe, it's kind of like, all right, you guys, I got to go out back and bury it. You know, so at the end of the day, I have found that Soothe is not only fun, but it's incredibly powerful. And I look forward to making more songs and more videos with this tool. So that's it for today. I just wanted this to be a quick video that goes over why Soothe is just no longer the GOAT, and why Anina has not only taken its place, but become an integral part of my workflow. And hopefully this helps you guys dial it in and find those resonances and remove them in a natural way. And one last time, shout out to Ewan at CRQL and everybody over there. I appreciate everything you guys do. Such a wonderful tool, and I look forward to seeing more awesome things. You guys are cooking. All right. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.